Hey guys, what's up? It's Crumb, and welcome to your Digsite quest guide for the 2007 servers. For this quest, you need 2 ropes, a tinderbox, a pestle and mortar, a vial, an uncut or cut opal, either will work, a cup of tea, and it's recommended to bring with you 2 Varrock Teleports, around 4 stamina potions, 2 Digsite teleports, and lastly, it's necessary to have with you a pair of boots, and a pair of gloves. When you're ready to begin, head over to the exam center, which is located east of Varrock, and then speak to any of the examiners. Can I take the exam? Option 1. We'll get an unstamped letter. Let's go ahead now and teleport to Varrock. Once here, run east towards the museum. Once in the museum, you'll find the curator. Go ahead and speak to him. And he will seal the letter, stamping it. Let's use our Digsite teleport now. From here, run south back towards the exam center. If you don't have a Digsite teleport, if you're an Iron Man or something, go ahead and just walk back here using the Varrock path. Once back at the exam center, speak to any of the examiners. Now you can pick any of these options. You're going to fail this test automatically, so it doesn't matter what answers you pick to the questions. She tells us that we should go do some studying. So let's go ahead and head to the dig site and ask some of these students, because who cares about studying? Let's go ahead and go cheat. So run north. And up over this little pathway here. Once over the pathway, run east until you see a student with a green shirt on. Speak to him. He lost an animal skull. So let's go ahead and go a little bit north. We'll find some Digsite workmen. Go ahead and steal from them until you get the animal skull. Once you have successfully found the animal skull, let's go ahead and head back to the student with the green shirt and use the animal skull on him, and he'll give us one of the 3 answers. Now let's run just north. Here we will find a student with a red, orangish type shirt on. Go ahead and speak to him. Once you're done speaking to him, we now need to run south. He lost his cup, so we need to go pan forward in the river. So keep running south here until you hit a tent. Inside this tent on a table, you'll see a panning tray. Take it. With panning tray in hand, let's head east. Here you'll find some panning points. Let's go ahead and try to pan at one. We'll be stopped by the panning guide. Say, so how do we become invited then? Option 2. And we'll give him some tea. Now we can pan, so go ahead and pan. You'll get a full panning tray. Search it. And eventually, by repeating this process, we'll go ahead and get his golden chalice type deal. Once you get his special cup, let's go ahead and head back to him by going north. Here's the student with the red shirt. Go ahead and use his special cup on him. And he'll give us the second question that we need to know. Let's go ahead now and run west. And just a little bit west and then a little bit north, we'll find a female student in purple. Speak to her. She has lost her teddy bear. Let's go ahead now and head south. We're going back to the panning tent. So once you hit a patch of what looks like pavement there, just head a little bit east and you'll find your way to the panning tent. So once you're at the panning tent, you'll notice a little wooden pathway that goes up the hill here, just to the west. Follow that up. And then you'll see a big, large urn and 2 bushes. Search the bush that is the eastmost bush, and you'll find the teddy. Let's head back now to that female student. Talk to her, and she'll give us the third answer. Let's go ahead now and make our way back to the exam center so we can take that test. So just go south, over the hill by using the little wooden path. And finally east towards the exam center. Once here, speak to any of the examiners. Yes, I certainly am, option 1. The study of the earth, its contents and history, option 1. All that have passed the appropriate earth science exams, option 3. And finally, gloves and boots to be worn at all times, option 2. Congratulations, you've passed the first level 1 exam. Go ahead and speak to the examiner again and say I'm ready for the next exam, option 1. And once again, we can select any of these options here, as all the questions, all the answers to these questions will be wrong for us since we don't know them. So let's make our way back to students for answers. First, head to the student that had the green shirt on. Once you find him, go ahead and speak to him. And he'll give you an answer. Let's go ahead now and head a little bit north. Then speak to the student with the red shirt. He'll give us some information. From here, head west. And speak to the female student wearing purple. And she will give us a third answer. Let's go ahead now and return to the exam area, the exam building or center. Once back at the exam center, speak to any of the examiners and say I'm ready for the next exam, option 1. First, say samples taken in rough form, option 3. Then finds must be carefully handled, option 1. And always handle with care, option 2. And that is level 2 passed. Go ahead and speak to the examiner again and say that you're ready for the last exam, option 1. And once again, any option that we pick here is going to come out wrong, so let's go ahead and pick any of them at random to get through it. So back to the students. By going west and then north, you guys know the deal. Up over the hill, and then to the east. Speak to the student with the green shirt, then run north, here speak to the student with the red shirt, and finally head west to the girl. However, she'll want a cut or uncut opal, so go ahead and use your cut or uncut opal on her. And she'll give us the advice that we need. Let's go ahead now and return to the exam center. Open up the door and speak to the examiner. Say I'm ready for the last exam, option 1. And then say samples cleaned, option 1. Then brush carefully, option 1. And finally handle bones very carefully, option 3. And that's exam number 3 complete. Let's make our way back to the dig site now. We have some digging around to do, basically. Once back in the dig site area, run all the way north up to where the student with the red shirt is. So you'll see the student with the red shirt, but keep continuing on north. Now here you're going to see a dig site with a buried skeleton, and what we need to do is go a little bit to the southwest here, and you need to steal from the dig site workmen until you get yourself a specimen brush. I already managed to get one of these when I was stealing from them to get that kid's skull. Once you have stolen the specimen brush, go ahead and search these sacks and you will get a specimen jar. Now with your trowel, which we got earlier on in the quest during one of these exams, go ahead and use that on the buried skeleton. Use your trowel on the soil, which is just next to this buried skeleton. Make sure, however, you don't click on the buried skeleton or the workmen will yell at you. Go ahead and continue this until you find an ancient symbol. If you happen to find buttons, you may want to keep those if you haven't done animal magnetism, as they're going to need it. And once you find the ancient talisman, then we're ready to head back to the exam center. That took me probably about a solid 10 minutes of digging to find, so just don't get discouraged and keep going. You'll eventually get it. You can drop that panning tray now, by the way. Open up the door to the exam center and speak to the archaeological expert. And he will give us an invitation letter. Go ahead and read that. From now, go ahead and go a little bit east to the library. And so you're in the southeastmost part of this room now, and on the southeastmost bookcase, go ahead and search it, and you'll find a book on chemicals. Go ahead and read that. We now need to make our way back to the Digsite, so let's go ahead and start walking there. Once here, just run north, and you'll come across a winch. Try to operate that. You'll get yelled at. From here, run a little bit west. You'll find a workman who is walking around. Use your invitational letter on the workman who is walking. Then let's head back west to the winch, and then use your rope on the winch. And then we can operate it to climb down. Once in here, head a little bit east. Search the brick. Once you've searched the brick, head back up by heading west and climbing up the rope. Once you're back up, head east. We'll see the student with the red shirt. From here, head just a bit north. We'll find another winch. Use your rope on it, and then operate it to climb down. Here we will find Doug Deeping. Speak to him, and say option 4, how could I move a large pile of rocks? He's going to give us a key, and let's climb back up the rope. From here, head south. We're going back down to that tent that had the panning tray in it. Let's go ahead and use our key on the chest to the east. Search the chest and we'll get some chemical powder. Now head outside just to the west. We'll see a barrel with a lid on it. Use the trowel on that barrel. And then use a vial on that barrel, which is now opened. And we'll get a vial of unidentified liquid. Head a little bit north and search the specimen tray. And then we need to keep searching the specimen tray until we get a thing of charcoal. And once you've found the piece of charcoal, let's head back to the exam center. Once here, we need to speak to the archaeological expert. Wherever he may be. Go ahead and use your chemical powder on him. And then right click and use the unidentified liquid on him. Make sure to right click, otherwise you'll empty it. Then use the ammonium nitrate on the nitroglycerin, and then use your charcoal on the mixed chemicals. Use your charcoal on the pestle and mortar to get ground charcoal, and then use the ground charcoal on the mixed chemicals. Let's return now to the girl. So the girl who had the purple clothing on, we're going to head back up there. We're really just going to that winch. Keep heading north. And here's the winch. Let's go ahead and operate that. Once down here, head west. On the floor, you'll find some Arcania root. Take that, use the Arcania root on the mixed chemicals to get a chemical compound. Now let's head east back towards those bricks and use the chemical compound on the bricks, and then use the tinderbox on the bricks. Your character is going to do an animation where it runs away once they light. Just make sure to go through that little chat dialogue there for this animation to happen. Once that's done, let's go ahead and run into that room just by going east and then south. And on the floor here, right in the middle of the room, we'll find a stone tablet. Take that stone tablet and let's go ahead and use our Digsite teleport and return back to the archaeological expert. And then go ahead and speak to the archaeological expert. Use the stone tablet on him. And that will be quest complete. Whole bunch of XP, couple gold bars. Now there's one last extra thing that we can do if we teleport to Varrock and go to the museum. However, if you're not interested in some extra kudos at the museum and like a chocolate cake, just go ahead and exit the video, and I thank you guys for watching. But if you're still here, let's go ahead and make our way to the exam, and we can turn in these certificates by speaking to the curator. And you can get something to drink or something to eat. I'm not sure what you get if you select something to drink, but if you get something to eat, you'll get a chocolate cake, which is useful when you're doing Desert Treasure. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, love, peace, and chicken and grease.